Okay, so the people that join cults, what's going on with those people?
Yeah, so, I think at the core of it is like people, like maybe two things again are happening. One, there's like the sense of like I want to belong to something.
Okay.
That community aspect of it, right? Like, hey, we're in this thing together. Well, I think there's a sense of belonging that people can get. I think there's a sense of like meaning and purpose people can have because they're like, oh, this is the way, this is giving purpose and meaning to my life that felt like it was meaningless prior to that.
Okay.
Or maybe or at least in contrast to what they were doing, this seems more meaningful. This seems like it has a higher purpose because it's more spiritual.
Okay.
And so I think there's really that like, we may be part of something like the communal nature, and then there's probably like this spiritual component of like, I want to say that I'm following God and or know this God, and we have we really have the true revelation, because that's in essence what cults are doing, right? Like they're declaring we've got it right, like we have the true revelation.
So these people want to feel right, also.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay,
I guess like at least right about what they're believing in, and so so we're big, we're a part of something bigger and larger than ourselves, and man, we've got this revelation. And so I think those are probably two things that are there that individuals are kind of preying on, that are the cult leaders, in other words.
Okay,
so like, hey, they're because usually your cult leaders are pretty charismatic, dynamic individuals that communicate really well, articulate themselves well, and can absolutely convince people of things. I mean, they're obviously good storytellers, good salesmen. They're convincing people of that this is true, and people are like, "Yeah, let's do this." And it sounds like crazy, like who would believe this? But like, I feel like it happens a good bit.
Okay.
And not just in religious circles, in terms of like what people believe in, right?
Right.
Like you can just be on social media and see what people believe in.
Right.
They fall hook, line, and sinker. They're not, because it's wild to me. People don't do any research on anything hardly. Like you're
not supposed to do research.
Someone says something and they're like, that must be true. And then they post it a bajillion different times. And so, without doing any real research behind it. So that boggles my mind. But I do think that's kind of what cult leaders prey on, is individuals that are not going to do research. They're not going to, they're probably going to be a bit gullible to these kind of things, and they want to belong to something, and they want to feel like, man, that what I'm doing is super spiritual and has this like meaning that far surpasses anything else they could possibly do in this world.
Right.
So I think that's like probably the larger part of it. But I do think with some cults, like there is how people get caught up in it is because there's like a very intentional, systematic approach to recruiting individuals into the cult.
Okay.
And then conditioning them like once they're in. And so, it's just really structured. It's really organized. And so, for example, they're not like from the get-go going to say, hey, give us all your money.
Right.
They're not going to from the get-go say, cut off all your family and friends.
Those ones are crazy.
Those are crazy. But
whether you have to give the cult leader your entire life savings and they protect you on the compound or whatever.
Right. Yeah. No, or like the individuals that are like, nope, cut off all your family. Right. If they're not going to believe with us, cut them off.
Cut up all your family.
Not cut up your family, cut them off. Get them out of your life. And this happened when I was in college. There was a ministry that preyed on college students. So when I was at UGA, there was this group, and they were recruiting college students into their cult. Oh, 100%. I knew individuals that had gotten sucked into it and had come out of it.
Was it a Christian thing?
Mm-hmm. It was Christian.
What type of Christian?
I can't remember the name of the group anymore. But so their whole deal, like kind of like in the cult sense, was all right. So you would they would offer it like, come to our Bible studies. So it seemed like like
Right.
no big deal. You go to the Bible studies, they'd be in a dorm room, whatever, right? And you go to a Bible study, and then after a while of being in the Bible study, they're like, one of the things that cults do is they're wanting your time and your attention, right? So like, if you're not in class, you need to come be with us, right? Like,
right.
And so, and it starts off pretty harmless, right? Like, hey, I'm in this Bible study. Maybe I feel like I even come to know the Lord, and I'm gaining these friends, and now I'm around them all the time, and now we're going to have lots of studies. And then, like this particular group had like this booklet you would go through, and so like, and part of that booklet was like, you get baptized, because for them you had to be baptized in their group to be saved. Okay. So you get baptized, and so cool. But then eventually over time, it is hey, but your parents aren't believers.
Was this school sanctioned?
No. Oh, okay. 100% no. No.
I mean, not school sanctioned, but this was like any other school ministry that was around.
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. It wasn't like, so for example, like I was in the Wesley Foundation.
Yeah.
Which was licensed, permitted, if you were, to be on campus. Right. And we could do events and those kind of things. No, this was like a ministry that was like off campus.
Okay.
But they were recruiting college kids.
Right.
And then use college kids to recruit other college kids. Okay. That's kind of the way it went. And so
culty.
100%. And so again, it's very systematic. It was very organized. And eventually over time, if your parents, your siblings weren't part of the group, it was time to start cutting them off.
Weren't part of the group?
Yeah. Then it was time to start cutting them off and not talk to them anymore, not go visit them anymore, not go see them anymore.
But they're paying for my school.
Right. I mean, it caused some issues.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, so that's what I'm saying. I think some of the cults are so structured and so organized, and they're so intentional in their recruiting efforts and in their conditioning, that it's not like it's just happening overnight, or like, oh man, I'm going to join this cult. Like, it just,
I'm going to have to get more organized
over time. If you're going to do your cult, your online cult, yes, you have to be more organized.
Yeah.
And you need a booklet or a pamphlet or something for
I need literature.
Yeah, for those that are going through the initiation to go through. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. I'm giving you way too many ideas. This is not good. So yeah. So I think there's some of the reasons, or some of the reasons of why people get caught up in the cults they do. Yeah.
I feel like people just want to feel right.
Okay.
And like everybody else is wrong.
Well,
I think that makes people feel good.
It does.
No matter what it is.
100%.
And as long as you have other people who think the same thing to back you up, then you feel superior than other people.
Yeah, I mean, we see that in religion. We see that in politics. We see that across the board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. People just want to feel like they're in the right group.
Yeah.
And we're right. Everybody else is wrong.
Right.
And so I was going to say that stuff drives me crazy, because it does. But at the same time, I'm in a religion that as Christians, where we believe we've got it right and everybody's got it wrong. So
I'm going to heaven.
Yeah. So like, I'm already...
You're going to HE double hockey sticks.
There you go. Like, so
because I won't say that. Because I'm Christian.
That's why. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.